trying to make it and get success on my own. Selling myself and all my body all alone. But you knock me down with your gear and don't do shit while I'm here. This is my patch. This is my patch. It's like I'm treading eggshells, I can't do it right this time. Gotta make money, rolling that honey, keep having stay in line. Well, you knock me down with your gear and don't do shit while I'm here. This is my patch. This is my patch. I ain't mad with you, girl. I wanna be just like you. Don't brush me away now, girl. I wanna be just like you. I ain't mad with you, girl. I wanna be just like you. Don't brush me away now, girl. I wanna be just like you.
Hello, my name's Holly, also known as Mrs. Gizlo. I'm a one-woman band where I write, record and produce everything myself. I'm 27, I'm from Deeside in North Wales, and you can find me on, now you can find me on YouTube, but I am on Instagram, Facebook and SoundCloud and Bandcamp, yes.
Late at night, feel that red run down your spine. Keep loveless, let your demons start to shine. Late at night, feel that red run.
So I was in a grunge band when I was 14. Grunge ain't my thing, it's too miserable. And that was my first ever gig that I played. That was well good. The gig was good, the music was a bit depressing. Then I moved on to a band called IOA. We were an all-girl pop-punk band. That was good fun. After that, I was in a band called Lost Causes. We were classic rock and indie and never found a nice medium between the two. So we did a classic rock ballad and then an indie ballad. It was weird. And then after that, I was in Suso, Something Out of the Ordinary. And we did nothing but classic rock, and that was well good. Won a battle of the bands with them as well. Nice times. And all throughout that, I've always done Mrs. Gizlo stuff, like gigs and writing, and not much promo because I was very reserved and very held back. I still am to this day, but I've managed to give myself a massive kick up the arse and go, no, come on, promote yourself, do better. So we're getting there. We're getting there slowly. So, those are the groups I've been in. But no, Mrs. Gizlo's always been in there in the background, doing various different things. Like I said, was dance punk, and then something a bit funkier, and now it's a bit funkier again. So I'm sort of learning how to find my feet, but then hopefully I'll sort of develop and go a bit further and get even better, she says.
Kiss and I'm all yours, do what you please. This feeling makes love making such an ease. One kiss and I'm all yours, do what you please. This feeling makes love making such an ease.
I hoped that Mrs. Gizlo would sort of be like Sasha Fierce was to Beyonce, but I found that I didn't really want that. I didn't want another alter ego. I thought that would be a bit silly. So it means to me now, like it does to Mel B and Scary Spice, you know, same person, two different names. But it means a form of a creative outlet for me, a way where I can be myself and make music that I like, not just music to make other people happy, but to make me happy as well. And it also means writing music that feels good. Rather than music that has deep, meaningful lyrics in them, I want me to make music that makes people feel good round here. You know, gives you that ooh feeling in your stomach. That's why I love a cracking slap bass line, or any bass line for that matter, that gets you in the gut, along with the drums and then the guitar on top. Could create anything, you know, that makes you want to get up and dance, really, which is the kind of music that I like making. The word Gizlo, I can't remember exactly where it came from. It was a word from the internet that I remember seeing, and I think it was part of a word, and then I chopped it and went, oh, I like that. Yeah, let's have that. And that's another band I've missed out. I was in an indie, but we didn't do very much. I think we did one band practice. We were called Mr. Gizlo, and my name was Mrs. I just kept mine. Thought, sounds good. Keep rolling with it, see where it goes. And it's stuck with me ever since. And there's only like a handful of people. I mean, I respond to that name, but not instantly. There's only like a handful of people who turn around to me and go, "Oi, Gizlo!" I'm like, what? And they call me that rather than Holly, whatever.
No one can help me keep you from this position. Been living in a fairy tale where reality does not prevail. Now I see through the mist and clouds that your head.
Oh, well, I want to take it. Size I can. Yeah, size I can with it. I'll be happy, really happy. I mean, if I've got enough money for retirement, so I sell one big hit, and then that's it, retirement paid for, and I can, you know, sit in a nice office writing songs for other artists, then yeah, like a one-hit wonder. I'll be happy with that. I'll be over the moon if I get an album and a couple of people buy it. Can you imagine? Yeah, I'd like to see it go a lot further. I like gigging, but I do prefer writing. Because with performing, there's always, because I have a few mental health problems, there's a couple of times when I get up on stage and I panic. I mean, one good thing is I take my glasses off and I can't see the audience, which is amazing. But there's still the grumbling in your belly and the sort of anxiety of it all, that you've got to go up there and, oh God, I hope they like what I'm playing. I hope it's okay. I'm up here, I'm on my own. Like when I go gigging, there's just me and a microphone and some backing tracks. When I played another gig with other bands, it was a lot easier. There was 4 people in front of me and I was behind a massive drum kit. Easy, I could just hide. But doing Mrs. Gizlo stuff, that's it, all gone. Not even an acoustic guitar to play behind, because I did that a few times as well, and oh, no. I hate playing the acoustic guitar. It hurts my hands, man. It really hurts. So I love what I do, and I can't wait to go and do it again once the coronavirus is completely fucked off. But to write and to perform, well, yeah, write, perform, and carry on what I'm doing, but to get paid for it is the dream, as you can imagine. Influences must be a combination of Lady Gaga and Mick Jagger and Ellie Jackson from La Rue. But I've always had music in our house growing up. I mean, my dad would plonk me in front of the TV with VH1 classics on, and there'd be things like Tears for Fears and Human League on, which always made me think, you know, oh, music's really good, isn't it? You know, like 4 or 5-year-old me sat in front of the TV like that, like, wow, that cool. My mum always had music playing in the car. She's a big Queen and Madonna fan. She loves her Elton John and Simon and Garfunkel. So I had a nice varied mix of music. And my dad always had really heavy bass guitar in the corner of the dining room. And I remember he let my brother have a go of it when my brother's like 4 years older than me. And yeah, he had a go of it. And I think my dad plonked it on my knee. And I was like, oh, Jesus. Like 6 years old with this massive guitar on me. And then when we moved house, I sort of went, I'll have that, thank you. Sat in my room for ages. I used to sit and have a mess about on it. And then there'd be sort of people that I bump into from school who sort of influence, especially high school. Jesus, the amount of musicians you bump into there without realising it. that influence you. Like I said, like my brother's mate Stefan was one of the main reasons that I started playing drums in the first place. I've not seen him in years, it's mental. Other influences, I don't know where the influence to play saxophone came from. I think it was just my music teacher going, she'd be really good, and my parents bought me one, and it went from there. Funk wise, guitar wise, Nile Rodgers, definitely. I tried to apply to go on one of his like apprenticeship courses years ago. I didn't get in. Never mind. Hopefully we'll meet one day. Who else? Well, his wingman, Bernard Edwards, definitely. I mean, he's just a... Ed's like a white version of him. It's mad. Some of the bass lines he comes out with, and some of the bass lines Bernard came out with, are phenomenal. I love listening to their stuff. When I was younger, man, like 10, 11 years old, and The Freak by Chic would come on, I go, I really like this song. I need to listen to it more often. And I think that sort of spurted, like, for me to go searching for songs on the internet. I think I was only like 13, 14 when, you know, I found the delights of YouTube and Bebo and all sorts of other like social media platforms at the time. And that's when I could, you know, if I typed in The Freak by Chic, all these other suggestions would pop up at the side, and I go, oh, that's good. Save that, save that, save that one. But I don't think Spotify was about, so there was no listen to the radio versions of, you know, of what there was when I was younger. But it's lovely finding that kind of, you know, you find one song, then another, and your music taste sort of broadens, and you find, you know, sort of offsprings of that song, and you go, oh yeah, oh that's good. Like, when I was younger, I used to hate R&B. Hated it, because every bugger else on the bus on the way to school used to listen to 50 Cent and Eminem, and I go, nah. I was really into what was I into? Metal, Slipknot and all that kind of thing. And was what I used to stick in my earphones, and I used to just dream the day away listening to Before I Forget by Slipknot, and it was amazing. But now I've got older, and I've got into my funk music, and you've sort of taken a couple of steps back a bit, and I've gone, R&B's not that bad actually. In fact, I really like it. Like Missy Elliott and Snoop Dogg. Yeah, it's what I like. Oh, can't talk today. Speaking of, that's what I like. Bruno Mars' new album. Have you heard it? Fucking hell, it's amazing. It's not new, is it? It's not new. It was released a couple of years ago. Shitty death.
I can feel it. We're about to crack. The fog is back. Your voice just booms out in every room. Your music plays out the same old tune. Put down your bass and step aside. The funk is coming home tonight.
Music, a really young age. Well, you know, not from the womb coming out playing a recorder or anything like that. I started playing the recorder, as most musicians start, when I was about 5 or 6, and yeah, felt quite good at it, you know, for, you know, the age group that I used to play with in school. And then one of my teachers turned to me and said, well no, they turned to my parents and said, you know, she'd be really good on the saxophone. It's the same fingering, it's the same sort of mouth shape and embouchure that you use, so it should be really good. And so, yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday. We went to a music shop in Chester, and bought me my saxophone. Really good. Dumped it down, stuck it all together, and I just couldn't blow a single note out of it to start with. You get practice, you get used to it eventually. And yeah, so I played that for a few years, and then I hit my early teenage years. And I remember going to one of my brother's gigs somewhere in the middle of Wales somewhere. Oh, it wasn't a very massive gig, let's just put it that way. And I remember seeing the drummer behind the kit, Stefan, and I was like, he's well cool. I'd love to do that. Look at him. So I turned to my parents and I said, you know Stefan from Neb? Don't he look good behind the drums? Don't he look really cool? And so the day after, they said, well, if you want drum lessons, then we could do that if you want. It's like, okay, give them a go. And I was taught by the lovely Ian Robinson, who was in the military, so I learnt lots of marches. Never again. And then I listened to different things and picked up various different things, and my drumming sort of took off from there. And then when I was about 14, I had guitar lessons. I was very fortunate. Talking about it, I was very, very fortunate to have, you know, parents who go, do you want these lessons? Do you want them lessons? I'm like, yeah, okay. I wasn't that fussed on guitar lessons to start with. I think it was my brother who sort of convinced me. And he said, it will help with songwriting, Hol. I went, oh, okay. Yeah. So I did. And I had guitar lessons with the lovely Mike Clark. And I went to him until I went to uni. And there was a point where, sort of like the last year of going to see him, and he put all these playing styles out in front of me. And he said, okay, Hol, this is blues, this is rock and roll, this is funk. I went, ooh, I like that. And so for a whole year, I turned up to his lessons on like a Tuesday evening, and he'd say, funk music again, is it? I went, yeah. So that's all I did, and I picked up choppy playing styles, and I picked up, you know, like I used to sit with Ed from my old band as well, and I'd listen to what he was playing, and yeah, got my love of it from there. And well, the funk music sort of added onto it that I could play choppier styles, if you get me. And then, where did I go from there? Guitar lessons. That was it really, and I had a few piano lessons with my neighbour. That came in handy. So I know where everything is on the keyboard and where all the chords are, but don't ask me to play like an E minor 11 kind of thing, because I just don't know. What else? What else do I play? I got a flute as well at one point. My dad bought me a flute. Again, very privileged, very lucky. He came home with it one day, and he went, oh, there you go, Hol, because we realised that the fingering again was the same as the saxophone. It was just a different sort of blowing technique. Blow. Yeah, gave that a go. But the one thing I found with flute is I find it really difficult to read music and play flute at the same time. So what I do is listen by ear, which is a lot better, because most teachers seem to think that you throw sheet music in front of that one person, you go, right, play that. It's not how everyone learns. So the way that I learned, like Careless Whispers and Baker Street and all sorts of other songs that are, you know, really famous on the saxophone, is I listened to them by ear and then copied them. It's an easier way to learn things, I found, because everyone's different. So I did that with flute, and my favourite things to play on flute are like Jethro Tull songs.
I got knocked down quick by other players like me. They say you got no chance, and now they all glance at the girl they wanna be. Like a pussycat, I keep patting them back. Like a butterfly trap, they get stuck on like that.
I like to think that it empowers other women. So one of my songs was written, ex-boyfriend, and basically he sort of very much, I felt like he had me very much under the thumb. And after I broke up with him and I went through a couple of other mental health issues, I sort of thought to myself, like, you'd love me now. And that's what the song's called. Because I was more confident and I wore what I want, I said what I want, I was a giggling wreck around him. And now I've got a bit more balls to stand up and say what I want and have a bit more oomph to do what I want. And I think that's what he wanted me to be. But because he was 6'8" with hands like a bear, it was a bit difficult to be like that around somebody who fucking towers above you and somebody who you feel like controls you ever so slightly and knocks you about a bit. So, yeah, I'd like to think whatever I do right, someone listens to and sort of relates to it and feels a bit more empowered by it and feels a bit better by it, I hope. Yeah.
Do you find your music to be therapeutic then?
Therapeutic. It is for me. I don't know about anybody else. It is for me, because when I'm having moments where I feel a bit, lacking in confidence. I do feel, listen, I know I shouldn't, but just to get, it helps me build ideas on how to improve my music. I do listen to my own songs on SoundCloud, walking the dog, just because I'll go, oh, I could add that next time, or oh, I could add that next time. But also it makes me realise, like, that's not bad, that Hol. You know, you've written a song and you've done this, this, this and this. Fair play, not bad. I mean, I know I'm not the best. Christ almighty, no, there's far more, what's the word? There's much better songwriters out there than me and much better performers, but I do what I do. And if people like it, well, hey. If they don't, then never mind. You'll go outside for a fag and a puff on your e-cig and a glug of your beer while I finish off performing and just come back in when I finish.
My attention is too high, 'cause I'm a wall banger. They keep on asking me why, 'cause I'm a wall banger. I'm a wall banger. You ain't murdered a word to me in years, and now you're down on your knees and you're faking.
Open to do once COVID is over. Yeah, I want to go gigging again and put my name out there. I'm open to anything really, apart from nudity. You don't want to see this in the buff. No. But I'm open to collaboration with people. I mean, if it's me and say 1 or 2 other people, that's fine, but when it's a full band, it's a bit different, and that's when arguments started to fly, and that's when I started to work on my own. But collaboration with a few people is actually very healthy and very good. It puts different ideas in, and you get a sort of better outcome. So I'm open to that. Anything music related. Hopefully, I'll have started doing work for MMH Radio, which is a classic rock radio, and they've given me a 2-hour slot. And I need to send some stuff off to them. Yeah. Well, actually, they said they'd ring me. So, it's two-way street. We'll get stuff done, eventually. So, yeah. Open to anything, really. Open to any music ideas, anything you need help with. Or, I could write songs for people. Or you need help. I mean, my knowledge isn't massive, but any knowledge on Logic Pro X and recording things, I could do that. Because music means an awful lot to me. I'm a healthcare assistant for the NHS at the moment, and the only reason I do that is to pay the bills. I came out of uni into a Tory government and went, right, what now? So I just had to find something that wasn't music, because there was no way I could do music full time, because I needed money. I wanted a house, I wanted a car, and I wanted to be able to live and be a grown-up, so I had to find something to pay the bills and do music on the side, which is fair enough. Hopefully one day I'll find something that's more music related all day, every day. And yeah. But at the moment, we'll stick to this. This is fine.
Okay, we're closing it off now. So, is there anything you want your fans to know?
Well, you can find me pretty much on the internet. Like I said, type my name, Mrs. Gizlo, into Google. I pop up. There's my Facebook, my Instagram. Just watch this space. I guess hopefully once COVID sort of goes into the mist and disappears, or it's something in the past, then I can start gigging again and start meeting more fans and doing what I love. So just keep a lookout.
Cool.